Imagine living in a magical world inhabited by several different races, but where humans are the weakest beings, treated like garbage by all the others. Our story begins in a world created by a goddess and inhabited by 9 different races: dragonids, elves, onis, dwarves, demons, dark elves, centaurs, beast folk, and humans, in that order. Soon we meet the protagonist of our story, a boy named Light, who says goodbye to his family to travel the world and become an adventurer, hoping to improve his family's life once he returns from his journey. But right away, the boy gets lost in the city and is confronted by a humanoid wolf who says that humans should know their place in society. Light eventually arrives at an adventurer's guild and speaks with a receptionist, who asks for his name. Light introduces himself and explains it's his first registration as an adventurer. Right off the bat, the receptionist wants to put the boy in the lowest rank and asks what his gift is. Light replies that his gift is unlimited gacha, which the receptionist doesn't understand at all, asking him to explain better. Light quickly summons a magic compass, and when he presses the button, the object begins spinning on its own. Suddenly, a fork card appears and materializes into a real fork on the table, but to everyone's surprise, it's bent. Trying to fix the awkward moment, Light summons more cards, an apple and a loaf of bread. Yet what comes out is a rotten apple and a moldy loaf. At that point, the receptionist, without hesitation, assigns him to rank F, the lowest possible. Light asks if he can take any jobs, and the receptionist points to a wall behind him with available quests. But she quickly realizes the boy can't read and feels pity for the poor kid. She grabs a paper and tells him he could chop wood, carry dirt, and cut grass, but warns the pay will be very low. Still, Light accepts, even if the jobs are degrading. He works all day under the scorching sun, and at night, he earns just enough to afford one night in a cheap inn. Looking for a place to sleep, Light accidentally bumps into 3 humanoid dogs. One of them says Light dirted his clothes and should pay for cleaning. When the dog sees Light's small money pouch, he doesn't think twice, knocks the boy to the ground and steals his hard-earned coins. Light demands they give his money back, but they just laugh in his face, saying they'll put it to better use buying drinks. Fallen on the ground, Light starts getting insulted by passers-by. One says, "Get out of the way, human," while another tells him to sleep in the trash with the rest of the scum, showing just how badly humans are treated by other races. When everything seems lost, a hand reaches out to help him up, and Light looks up to see a beautiful elf girl. Shocked, he notices a whole group standing behind her. Trying to comfort him, the elf kneels and gives him a warm hug, even as other onlookers criticize the scene. Light, realizing she got dirty just to embrace him, thinks he must be dreaming, but the elf tells him he's wide awake. The group introduces themselves as the Concord of Tribes, a faction formed by members of every race created by the goddess. The beast folk Garu, the elf Sasha, the dragonid Drago, the demon Diablo, the Oni Oboro, the dwarf Nano, the dark elf Sion, and the centaur Santer. The only race missing was a human, and that's where Light would fit in. Sion explains that their group was founded to fight racial discrimination and that they needed someone like Light to help their cause. The leader, Drago, extends his hand and asks if Light wants to join them. Without thinking twice, the boy accepts, feeling like the happiest child in the world, unaware of what fate had in store. Soon we see a cave scene in the middle of a storm, a giant worm-like monster about to devour Light, who's completely defenseless. Thankfully, Drago saves him, asking if he's okay. But another worm lunges, and this time it's Sasha who fires an arrow right through its head. She scolds Light, saying she can't take her eyes off him for a second and tells him to stay close. The elf reveals they're in the most dangerous dungeon, the Abyss, where anything could kill a fragile boy like him in an instant. Light apologizes for being a burden, and Sasha strokes his cheek gently like a mother, only to be teased by her teammates for not resisting the boy's cuteness. Sasha quickly denies it, saying she's just protecting the team's reputation, but the dark elf doesn't buy it. Drago steps in to cheer Light up, saying he loves the tea Light makes for the team, which brings a smile to the boy's face. The leader then orders the group to move on, and Light, ever enthusiastic, follows. After walking for a while, they stop to rest. Light assumes it's tea time and starts preparing it as usual. While he's doing that, Drago suddenly approaches and tells him there's no need to make tea anymore. Confused, Light looks up, and the leader bluntly says he's officially expelled from the group. Light freezes, not understanding, and Drago repeats, "You're fired." At first, Light thinks it's a joke, but Garu says they're literally kicking his ass out. Realizing it's real, Light asks what he did wrong, and Garu replies he's completely useless. The others join in mocking him. Even Sasha, the one who once protected him, calls him so stupid he drives her crazy. Sion says she's not sure if his idiocy is due to lack of brain cells or just a human thing. The dwarf Nano says he's relieved they're finally rid of that nuisance, and others remark that he smells so bad they couldn't breathe near him. Still thinking it's a prank, Light turns to Sasha, who confirms they're serious. Shocked, Light asks why they pretended to like him, and Garu says they've been faking it all along. He then asks why they even wanted him in the group, and Drago answers. It was because of his gift. Light, confused, says his useless gacha couldn't be that special. Drago explains that their superiors once thought Light might be a maestro, but after seeing his poor performance, they realized his power was worthless, so the group was ordered to discard him. Sion comments that their bosses should have fired him earlier, and Sasha adds she's glad she won't have to marry an inferior being, revealing her affection had been an act all along. Light starts piecing things together, asking about maestros and bosses. Drago scolds Garu for talking too much, but the wolf shrugs. The boy won't live to tell their secrets anyway. Drago agrees and gives the order, execute Light. Excited, Garu activates his claws and slashes Light's face, leaving a deep scar on his cheek. Horrified by the blood on his hands and by the betrayal of his supposed friends, Light panics and runs for his life. Sasha shoots an arrow into his knee, knocking him down. Garu laughs cruelly, walking toward him while Sion says the boy's screams are music to her ears. Without mercy, Garu kicks Light in the stomach, sending him rolling on the ground, then continues beating him until Drago tells him not to overdo it. Sasha coldly remarks that Light should die at the hands of a monster, not them, to make their story believable. Understanding the plan, Garu readies to finish him off. Light, crawling in desperation, whispers that he wants to live. Suddenly, a massive purple portal appears around him. Drago shouts at Garu not to let him escape, but it's too late. Light vanishes without a trace. He wakes up elsewhere in the dungeon, realizing he triggered a teleport trap that sent him far from the traitors. But he despairs, knowing he'll soon die alone anyway. Crying, he misses his family and recalls the happy times traveling with the group. All lies. He can't understand what Maestro means or who ordered his death. Rage slowly consumes his broken heart. He vows to kill every single member of the Concord of Tribes with his own hands. His thoughts are interrupted when suddenly two giant, twin-headed stone beasts appear. They're level 1000, monsters of legend. That's when Light realizes he's been teleported to the deepest layer of the abyss. Seeing death approach, he activates his gift one last time, summoning the compass. But this time, a huge blue magic circle appears, something unlike anything before. As the monster lunges at him, the compass draws a golden card, and in a flash of light, a young woman appears, slicing the creature to pieces in an instant. Light stares in awe. The woman, dressed like a maid, turns to him and walks closer. Kneeling before him, she bows gracefully and touches his wounded cheek, instantly healing it with a soft glow. She apologizes, saying she couldn't bear to see such a beautiful face injured. Amazed that his pain is gone, Light stands up fully healed. The young woman asks his name, and he introduces himself. She calls him Master Light and pledges eternal loyalty as his maid, leaving him stunned. When he asks who she is, she requests permission to speak her name, which he grants. The woman smiles and introduces herself as May, the tireless maid. Then she reveals she's level 9999 and came from a super ultra rare card from his unlimited gacha. Light can hardly believe it. His so-called useless gacha had summoned someone this powerful. May humbly says she's just a maid and he can call her by name. When he does so, she beams with happiness. She then asks a favor, to analyze his gacha and understand its true potential. She insists it can't be useless. Light agrees, and she begins her assessment. After examining it thoroughly, May is astonished, saying his abilities were hidden deep within and invisible to anyone below her level. She explains that the gacha can be rolled infinitely, and the rarity of cards depends on the mana density around, the amount of energy in the environment. She lists the rarities: extra, super ultra rare, SSS rare, SS rare, S rare, normal, and error, respectively. May reveals that mana density is highest in the dungeon's depths and lowest on the surface, explaining why Light couldn't summon her before. She praises his courage for surviving the abyss alone and summoning her rare card, but admits he's still weak and would have died without protection. Light bitterly explains he wasn't alone. his group betrayed him. Hearing this, Mei embraces him and apologizes for not understanding his pain. She vows to destroy those who wronged him, asking permission to hunt them down and bring back their heads as an offering to her master. But Light refuses, saying it was his fault for being weak, and he'll grow stronger to take revenge himself. He asks if his dream is foolish, and Mei kneels again, declaring his dream is hers too, and that she'll help him fulfill it. She tells him she believes in his potential above all else. Grateful, Light thanks her sincerely. After that, Light activates his unlimited gacha once more, harnessing the Abyss's immense energy to summon another powerful card, and thus begins his journey to build a kingdom of his own, one that will pave the road to vengeance against the cruel, unjust world that betrayed him. And that's where the first episode of this new anime ends. What did you think of the story? Would you like to see the continuation of the series with so much potential? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next recaps on the channel. See you next time.